This hand had been trapped under a rock for 24 hours, and the man had only a little over 300 milliliters of water left, not enough to last a few days. At night, he opened up the food he had brought with him and ate it in tiny bites. After finishing, he drank just a small sip of water, not daring to drink more. Carefully, he took out his contact lenses and placed them in his mouth to keep them moist. On the third day, he continued trying new ideas. He wrapped an elastic rope around the rock several times, connecting it to the rope above with a spring clip to create a fixed pulley. But whether he wrapped the rope around his hands to pull or around his feet to push, no matter how much strength he used, the rock did not move at all. After all that effort, it was completely in vain. In despair, all he could think about was water, soda, beer. Finally, he could not resist. He opened his bottle and took a small sip. Then a sudden urge to urinate hit him, and he quickly unzipped his pants and let it out immediately. The second time, he was smarter. He urinated into his hydration pack, thinking it might be useful later. That evening, he faced the camera and summed it up. His fixed pulley was useless because the rope was elastic. He had only 150 milliliters of water left, enough to last until the next night. Then he noticed that the tube of his hydration pack was wrapped in a cotton strap, which would make a good tourniquet. Deep down, he knew what the only way out was. He wrapped the tourniquet tightly around his right hand, then used the spring clip to pull it tighter and tighter. He took out his utility knife and began cutting into his hand, but it was too dull and could not even break the skin. He was already very weak, dizzy, and drank some water, but accidentally knocked over the bottle, spilling much of the precious water. In this desperate moment, he thought about his ex-girlfriend to comfort himself. Suddenly, lightning flashed and thunder roared. It was about to rain. He quickly opened his mouth and his water bottle to collect the rainwater. The rain poured harder and harder, and the canyon began to fill up with water. Soon, the water rose above his head. In the water, he pushed hard against the rock, and it moved. He was freed out. He rushed back to his car and drove straight to his ex-girlfriend's house, wanting to win her back, but found himself unable to make a sound. She closed the door on him, and he woke up crying. It had all been a dream. He was still trapped in the nightmare canyon. On the fourth day, he drank the last of his water. From now on, there would be none left. His heart was racing, his body shivering, and death was already knocking. He decided not to wait any longer. He stabbed his arm hard, but the knife hit bone, which it could not cut through, so he pulled it out. He tasted a little of his own blood, but it did not quench his thirst, so he drank his urine. The smell nearly made him gag, and he coughed for a long time afterward, but it relieved his thirst a little. After another night, he was on the verge of death. Hallucinations came one after another. One particularly strange one showed a sofa in the cave, with his family and friends all sitting on it. He did not think about what it meant. It was time. He began forcing his right hand back, and through excruciating pain, he finally broke one of the bones in his arm. He kept going until the second bone broke. Laughing a few times, he wiped away his tears, pulled out the small knife, and began cutting into his arm. At last, he severed his arm and freed himself from the rock. The whole process took over an hour. After resting for a while, he bandaged his arm, gathered his belongings, and before leaving, could not resist picking up the camera to film his severed hand. He made his way through the narrow crevice, and before long, he found light. He was finally in the sun again.